Alright guys, so I had recorded the video and then I was trying to make space on my computer. Thought I completely lost the video, re-recorded, kind of rushed through it a little bit just because I was really frustrated. And then now that I'm editing to put it together, I found the original video. So I'm leaving both videos in, the original one that goes through and explains more in detail than the second part that explains everything but just more to the point. So sorry about that. You can skip through the second part when I re-explain with this part of the 3 lashes to tell you how I did this. But anyway, so I apologize for that. But thanks for watching either way, and hopefully you guys get something out of this. Hey guys, let's go and get started with today's assignment. So we have learned how to create strip lashes from scratch, like these blue ones here, okay? We have learned how to create a strip lash with string and the lash tabbing technique, okay? We have learned how to make paper lashes. Okay, and today we're going to be learning how to stack lashes. So I have my paper lashes here because I'm going to, and these are over a strip lash. As you can see here, the strip lashes underneath the paper lash. These are the individual triangles that we cut, and this was the strip lash that looked like this. Okay, the paper lash, but we cut it in 3 pieces. So we're going to be using those at the end here in just a second for a final effect. And then I'll show you you can also powder liquid these on top, blend those in. Okay, scissors, something you'll need, tweezers, lash glue, an applicator, a Q-tip will be just fine. And it gets messy, so maybe like a little wet paper towel or a little wet towel that you can wipe your hands off on, and maybe a napkin. And if you're in a hurry to get it done, then maybe a little fan that you can turn on and it will dry the glue faster. Now, as far as for the glue, okay, it does get messy, so I do have my paper here that I'll be using so I don't get my tabletop dirty or my board dirty. I'm going to use this glue that we've been using this week because the glue that I should be using for this technique here is at school. Okay, and so I'm on maternity leave right now, so I'm recording these videos for the students, you guys, for you guys to have and to do your daily assignments with. So I'm kind of using what I have at home right now, okay? But what I would use, or what I learned this technique, that what glue you should use is the glue that is used for hair extensions. Okay, so it's a kind of a gray tone when it's wet, but it dries black. It's extension glue. Okay, so that's what I would typically use, but today I'm using this. Okay, and I'm going to be using quite a bit, so you just need a lot for the lashes to stick on. Okay, I'm going to be demonstrating on this LA Colors lash right here. It is, I'm just going to do 3 lashes just to do a very small stack. Okay. And then we're going to be using these 3D faux mink lashes. Okay. This is the 012, 06, and 018. Should be this way. They're out of order. So there's just this particular angel lash is the brand, okay, and this is just what they call their individual lashes or lash strips, okay. The Luna, the Lena, and the Ziri. All right, so you'll notice that they each have a different look to them. Okay, so if you were doing this for a project, you want all of the same. But when I went to the store, and I got these at the dollar store, they did not have 8 of one kind, so I had to just work with what I could come up with. Okay, but the actual one, the actual lash that I learned this with, and I learned this technique from a drag queen. I love McQueen's because they just have the most awesome techniques, and they're so precise and so good, and it's just, I love watching them do their makeup and all their tips and tricks and things that they use to create the amazing looks that they have. Love watching them, but Trixie is who I learned this from, and she uses the 301 lashes, and I couldn't find those particular lashes, so we're going to work with these. All right, so whichever ones you can find is fine, and if you don't have any, you know, flared ones or cat eye style, you know, just regular lashes will do just fine. You can also make your own. Okay, obviously the paper would have to be a little bit more thinner triangle shapes at the tips, but you can also stack with these kinds of lashes, and you can also stack with the blue hair lashes that we did earlier this week. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this here. Now you gotta remember that all these things like this I save for when I do my salon project, and of course the trays I save. The trays, you can always cut them, okay? Anytime, so right now I'm only going to show you one eye, okay? So this, again, if this was me putting them on, this is my right eye, this is my left eye, okay? So if you ever have any lashes left over, don't throw them away, or if you cut any, don't throw them away, because if you take a look at this one, let me get it close without it getting too blurry. This particular lash, okay, the strip, it has lash tabs, and they're separated enough to where if you needed to, you can cut them, and you have lash tabs that you can work with now. So if you're ever in a pinch and you need one or the other, you now know how to make a strip lash with lash tabbing. Or if you need lash tabs and you have a strip lash, just cut them, and then there you go, you have your tabs. Okay, so always save your stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work off of this one here on this side. So I'm going to bring my first one in, and I'm just going to place it down. Now this does get messy, and it does get kind of everywhere and all over the place, so just FYI. I'm going to prep my lashes. I'm going to bring my two that I'm going to be working with. Now this particular stack is not going to be very dramatic, okay? This first stack here, the band already has a little bit of the stick, so I'm just going to place it down. I'm not going to push it down because I don't want it to get stuck. You can also do it on the back of your hand, is fine, does not matter. It's going to be a little messy, so I'm just going to do it on the paper, okay? Note that when you're working with the glue and you're working with paper, you need to work fast because the glue will get stuck to the paper. So if you want to take your time or whatnot, you might want to put it on, either keep it on the tray or put it behind your hand. That way you'll be able to, you know, take your time, work at a slower pace, and not have to worry about rushing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my glue, and I have my little applicator ready. So I'm going to go ahead and come on in. I'm going to grab my lash, my strip lash. Okay, I'm going to grab it. And I'm going to place glue. And y'all, sometimes the glues do get some air bubbles. So make sure to pop those air bubbles. Okay, so I applied some glue on the band, but I also brought the glue down, so I'm just going to rub the glue down. I'm going to roll that down into my fibers because I need to make sure that my lashes stick. And do not be scared to really put that glue all over. Okay, you don't need it at the tip of the lash, but you want to for sure cover that very well. So then you're going to come in and you're going to stack. So you have your band, the spine, the backbone. It's called different things. People call it different things, but you have that, okay, on each lash. And so you're going to go put it right on top, but you're going to go underneath. So where the lash starts to curve is where I want to put the second band. So I'm going to go ahead and come on in. I'm going to place it I'm going to push down my corners. I got some glue on my lash, on my tweezers, gotta clean that up. Okay, and then I want to play with it. And I want to push it down and make sure that it sticks where I want it to. I can pull and tug and push, making sure that I have a really nice stack. Now what you want to make sure is that you want to make sure that this part right here, this bone, is parallel. Even if it's a curved line from the first lash to the second lash, okay, you want to make sure that it's not crooked. You want to make sure it's nice and straight. So already you can see the difference. This is one lash. This is two lashes, okay? And you can definitely see here the thickness of the lash, all right? So then I'm going to go ahead and take my third lash. And you do this, when I learned it from Trixie, she did it from with 8 different lash strips. So it was very voluminous, looked very nice. And of course, it's not, this is, okay, let me go back 2 seconds here. Lash stacking with 3 lashes, okay, yeah, sure, you can wear that for like a bride or someone getting, you know, to prom or quinceañera or something, but lash stacking with 8 lashes is not for a bride, unless if they have some crazy, very dramatic makeup on, drag queen style of makeup. Okay, this is just very dramatic lashes. So I'm going to go ahead and, okay, so I have my first backbone, my second backbone, this is my third backbone, the spine, the band, and I'm going to scooch it down even more. Now again, my lash is now curving more because I stacked it, so I'm going to find where my second lash begins to curve, and that's where I'm going to place my third layer. Okay, I want to make sure, so now I have, and let me go ahead and draw this out, I have one lash that's curved, like so, my first backbone. Then I have my second lash, right? And then my third lash. So you want to make sure that it's parallel. Even though it's a curved line, it's parallel or 2 or more lines that never touch. So you want to make sure you are good there. And so afterwards, you if you're happy with where you have placed your lashes, and if you need to push, if you need to pull, okay? Again, if you're working on paper, beware, okay? They will stick on the glue will stick on the paper. So just gently pull from both sides. So see how there's glue right here? Okay, if I would have left that to dry overnight or something, it would have stuck on there. Okay, so obviously the glue right now has that iridescent color because this is what this particular glue is like. Okay, but you can definitely see, look at that nice curve. Now let me pull one of these lashes for a comparison. Okay, so here is, I'm almost afraid to take it off. You have to be very gentle with these till they dry. Okay, so here is, let me push it down a little bit so it'll stick. Here is my lash without, just with one. Do you see it's a little bit more flat? This has a little bit more of a curve. Okay, you can see that. It looks more thick on the bottom. Okay, you can see, let me see if I can. You see how dark this back one is? It has a 3. Okay, so it definitely gives you the drama. Okay, once the glue dries, then you're definitely going to be able to have that more visual effect. Right now, just the glue doesn't let you see it very well. Now, I will say this dries clear. So like when we did our lash on our thread, you can see the white thread because the glue dried clear, right? But if that was black glue, then you wouldn't see the thread, right? And you wouldn't see every little one of the little knots of each of the tabs. So here, if this glue was black glue, right, it starts off kind of like a grayish color, and then it dries black, and so then you'll have an even more dramatic effect on your lash because all of that will be blacked out. You won't be able to see through it. Okay, so this is and so I'm going to let this to the side, okay, so that it can dry. I need to get glue all over my tweezers. So always making sure you have a little bit of alcohol or polish remover to the side to clean your tweezers. Make sure all that glue is gone. So I'm going to go ahead and take my regular lash and I'm going to go ahead and put it back. Now, this particular lash on both sides was the same. On the outsides, it has short lashes and it goes to medium to long. Okay, if you can tell that curved line. Okay, so if I wanted to, I can stack these 6 on top of this, and they match. So left eye, right eye, doesn't matter, they match. Okay. When we go to these over here, where they are short to long, then you definitely are going to see that effect on the flare. And you can't use a left on top of a right. You can, but you're not going to have that look. It's going to cover up the look. Okay, so keep that in mind whenever you're working with or choosing your lashes, your lash styles. You want to make sure that you're getting the supplies that you need for the look you're going for. Okay, so there's my lash. Very nice curve. So I'm going to go ahead and take this to the side. I'm going to let it dry. Right there. Stuck to my finger. Okay. Alright, so we're going to put that to the side. And now, and be careful because of course there's glue everywhere. And this glue is really hard to get off. The other time that I did it, I had glue on I scrubbed it and everything, but with soap and water and it wouldn't come off. I had to use polish remover to get it off. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and go with our 18s, our 12s, and our 6s, just so you can see that effect. Okay, so again, saving your extra or your recyclable item so you can work with when you build your salon. But this is weird. This is a nice little tray. You can also reuse. You can wash lashes and reuse them on yourself. I would not reuse them on a person. From one person to another person, of course not. Okay. And then we're going to go to our 12s. Okay. So we're going to start off with our 18s, and then we're going to do our 12s, and we'll end up with our 6s. Okay. When you stack up your lashes, one on top of the other is fine if it's the same kind or same style. You don't want to stack your lashes if they're not the same because it could interfere or bend the tips of your flares. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're going to go, and I'm only going to do one side, obviously, because I can't use one on top of the other unless if they're exactly the same. So we're going to go ahead and start off by pulling our strip lash. Oops. And for being dollar store lashes, I really like the quality of these. These I really, really like. So I'm going to go ahead and place my lash down. Just on the tip. I don't want it to be too crazy stuck on there. And actually, you know what? I think these are both. I can actually use both. Yeah, I'm going to use both because they are actually, there's not one different from the other, the red and the left. So I'll go ahead and I'll stack these up. So there's not a distinct right to left eye. They're both the same. So I'm able to stack those up. Okay, so I'm going to go and grab my lash. And I'm going to apply, and you'll see with these, they're definitely more dramatic, and with the bigger lashes, and do not be afraid to add tons of glue. You need to make sure that it sticks. With these kinds of big lashes, there's a different technique to do. So here, I'm just going to push down on my outside corners, okay? That way it's got a curve. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this down a little bit away from my band, and I'm going to push it down. Now this definitely has more of a curve. And then just randomly pull up on the bottom so it doesn't get stuck to the paper. Okay. And so placing that down using the back of your tweezer, making sure that you don't use the tip of your tweezer when pushing down, because the glue will ruin it. The glue will get stuck on the tip of your tweezer. Hard to come off when you're working. And then everything you touch with your tweezer will then get stuck. Okay, apply your glue, bring it down to the fiber some, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply my third lash, continuing. Okay. Now this one's not wanting to curve as much, but that's all right. All right, so there we have our 3 stacks. With our 3 stacks, we, at some point, because the way I learned it, Trixie, she used 8 lashes on 1 stack. If I continue to skip down, okay, like we did this technique here, it's going to be so heavy that this base, this first one, is not going to be able to support it, and the lashes are going to droop down. So you do 3 or 4 for the first layer, and then you're going to come back, and then you're going to start again. You can either do right on top, like so, right on top, do a second layer on top, or what you could do is go in between, like so. All right, so however you, once you're playing with them, however you choose is fine, but you definitely want to make sure that you strengthen the base lash, okay? Because that is the lash that you are absolutely needing to be strong, okay? So we're going to go ahead and come in and add some glue. Be generous with the glue. Again, it should be the black glue, so it adds 2. So right on top of my first one, oops, what did I just say? Don't use the tip to push down. Okay, and so just push that down. So this top layer, this top lash covered my layers. Okay, taking the back, making sure I'm peeling that off of the tabletop or the paper that you're working on. Okay, and that way you are good to go. All right, so this definitely has to dry. You shouldn't be picking it up, but let me try to pick it up. Okay, look at, I'm going to put this right here. Look at the curve to that. Look how nice that looks. Look how thick that lash looks, right? So let me go ahead and finish stacking. Push that back together. Again, the glue looks blue, but it's not going to be blue, okay? It's going to be clear. So let me go ahead and finish stacking up all of my lashes. See, there's glue on the back of this. Let me clean my tweezer really quick. I'm going to finish stacking up these lashes on top. I'm going to do 8 total, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Hey guys, so the reason why it looks like this is because I was just done recording this whole lesson, and I was just sitting here drying my little lashes so they can get done so I can show you the after. And then my computer was saying that it was running out of memory, so I needed to delete some video, so I minimized this window, and when I came back to it, the video was gone. I don't know what happened. So I apologize. I don't have any more lashes to redo all of this. So we're just going to, I'm going to explain everything, but just, I apologize for the lack of the demonstration because the video deleted. So let's start from here, I guess. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so what we're learning today is stacking lashes. I learned this from a drag queen. Her name is Trixie, and she has, I love learning from drag queens because they have such awesome techniques and they can just about do anything. So I really, really enjoy watching those videos and tutorials and such. So stacking lashes is something that I learned from Trixie. Sorry, I keep wanting to say Dixie. From Trixie. And so what I had done is I had taken a basic lash, a strip lash, and these are 3 lashes put together in one. So this particular lash here, and I'll put it here so you can see, okay? See how dark it is? Right now it has a glue and it's still drying. I was trying to dry it. But you see the curve that it has is pretty long. It has a nice strong curve and it's dark, okay? Well, what I had done is I had taken, okay, one side of these, and I'll show you again here with this other side, and I stacked them up. So let's compare the two. Okay, so you see the dark, this is 1 and this is 3 of the same, okay? This is these 3, okay, and this is this one. So you can definitely see the darkness, okay? You would be able to see more dark except for I'm using this glue. But the type of glue that you use or that I learned to use with this to make sure it sticks really good is hair extension glue, but mine's at school, so this is what I'm using for today. And this glue is fine, okay, except for if it were black, it would be a really nice dark base here, and you wouldn't see through the lines and whatnot, okay. But this is one lash individual strip lash, and this is a stack of 3. Can totally see the difference there. Totally see the difference in the drama, okay? So I went ahead and I'm going to put this lash here on my little tower that I made. So see that right there? Very nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one right under. Same lash, it's just one, and you can definitely see the difference. So whenever you are needing or wanting to create more drama, definitely stack them up. Now, this is 3 lashes, this is 1. This is something you can definitely do for like a bride or something of the sort. Now, this stack right here, okay, is very heavy. Let me go ahead and put this stack right here. This is definitely gorgeous. It's big, okay, very fluffy, lots of dimension, lots of texture. Check out that curve, very strong curve, okay, very thick. And the glue is still drying, and I have not placed my last lash on top to go ahead. Sorry, Siri thinks I'm talking to him. So I have not placed my last lash on top to cover these bands. My glue is still drying, okay? But this here is 7 stacks, okay? 7 lashes, okay? I used the, man, I can't show them to you anymore, but I used this, I have not used the 6 yet. I used a 12 and an 18. So these are 18s and 2 12s. Okay, and that's just the number that this particular brand calls their lashes. Okay, Angel Lash, they do really, really nice affordable lashes. Got those from the dollar store. So again, 8 stacked lashes. Okay, and I'm going to put my last lash on top. I'm going to show you in a minute how I stack these up. Okay, so I'm going to use this one here. I'm going to use this lash. I'm going to just, the tip, just on the side. Okay, I'm going to push it down, not the middle. I'm going to push that down there. I'm going to pick up my next lash, push it to the side, and my last lash and put that to the side just to have it ready. Okay, you can definitely use the tray to work with. You can put the lashes on the back of your hand or just on a tabletop. Now, if you use a tabletop, you want to make sure that you are aware that this is paper and this is glue, so your lashes will get stuck by the paper by the glue onto the paper. So keep that in mind when you're, don't push down too hard, or just do it on your hand, okay, or the tray. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lash, whoops, only one, grab it with my tweezer, okay, and I'm going to add glue. I want to make sure that I'm pretty generous with my glue. I was panicking trying to find my video that my glue got all clumpy at the tip. I did not get a chance to clean it. Okay, so make sure you have plenty of glue on there and come down a little bit down the fibers, okay? So I'm going to, where my lash begins to curve, I'm going to place my second strip lash underneath my first band, okay? And there's a space between my first band and my second band. And it's a parallel line, so that's what I was drawing here. All right, I'm just trying to get the same color. There we go, okay? So my first band is here. My second band is right underneath. And then my third band is going to be right parallel underneath to that. So then I'm going to take, and if you don't want to use your tweezers, you can use just your fingers is fine. It does get very messy, so having a paper towel or a towel that's wet, some polish remover or acetone to get rid of that glue will be just fine. Okay, so you can wipe your fingers. So then my third strip lash, I'm going to go ahead and put parallel underneath. Where my lash is curving is where I want to place this one down. And again, it's parallel. Parallel lines are two or more lines that do not meet. Okay, so just placing that down. Okay, the glue, this particular glue has that iridescent tone to it. Okay, as it's drying, it'll dry clear. Okay, I'm going to just go underneath it, my lash, I'm lifting it, making sure that my lash is not getting stuck to my paper. Any glue that's on your tweezer, just if you're going to wipe it, wipe your with your fingers. Wipe your fingers off because then you're all sticky and everything sticks to you, okay? Don't use the tip of your tweezer because then if the glue gets on here, anything you touch is going to have glue on it and then it's going to get stuck together and it's a big mess. So use the back or use a tip of an applicator to move your lashes around over the glue, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, you should wait for this to dry, but I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. And that is how I created this lash right here, okay? Now, now with these lashes, now this was just 3 strip lashes on one stack, okay? If I was going to create something like this that has 8 lashes, look how beautiful that is. I just love, it's just so, I love the flare to that. It's just very wispy, very, very dramatic. Okay, this is not something that a bride is going to ask for, okay? This 3 stack is definitely something you can do for a bride, okay? But you want to make sure, okay, that it looks nice. So, and that it's not too heavy, right? So if I were to put this stack of 8, okay, like this, and I kept going down the row, for example, if I kept going this way, right, the lash is going to be so heavy that if this is my eye, right, here's my lid, instead of my lashes going up this way, right, and this is my eyeball, my lashes are going to go down this way, right, because it's going to be so heavy, and then she's not going to be able to see. That kind of looks like a boob. Hey, sorry. Okay, I'm making it worse. Here, there we go. It kind of looked like a boob. I'm sorry. Okay, so you don't want that weight to pull the lashes down. So you don't continuously keep stacking them one on top of the other like so. What you do is you come in. So that's how I did this thick one right here. Okay, so I did 3 lashes, and then I came in and I put my second layer here. 1, 2, 3. And then I went over the top of my first layer and I put 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, I only did 8, but so let me show you how you do that on here. So here's my 3 lashes. 1, 2, 3, right? And this one, you could see the bands, right? Here's band number 1, band number 2, band number 3. I cannot keep going because if I keep going this way, it's going to be just heavy. So I need to stack right on top. Okay, so when I stack right on top and there's plenty of glue, it'll stick. Look how nice that is. Look how it has so much wispy texture to it, but it's strong. It's going to lift up. It's not going to flop down because there's support at that first base. I stacked and layered instead of just stacked all the way down. Okay, and that's how I can get my support. I love that look. Very nice. Okay, that's definitely something a bride with a lot of drama could wear. So that had plenty of glue so it stuck. So I'm going to go ahead and place this here on my little tower, my lash tower I'm calling it. Okay, and look at that right there. Very nice, very voluminous, very beautiful. And then this one, again, it has 8. So I did my stacks. So here was my original drawing, okay? Layer number 1, then in between layer number 2, and then back over layer number 3, okay? And that's how I did this. Now, can you see, and the glue is still drying, that's what the blue is, okay? If it were black glue, it would be so much better. But you can see the bands, okay? So my last lash, which is what I was recording before I lost my video, my last lash, I'm going to apply glue. Whoops. I'm going to apply glue. It's no big deal. It'll all blend in. On my last lash, very generously. And then I'm just going to place it right on top to hide all of those bands so you cannot see the bands. So on top, all you're going to see is one single lash. And there you go. Lots of volume, lots of drama. Beautiful, very wispy. Long lashes, short lashes. Okay. You can create this. We did the lash extensions with the diagramming. We did the wisps, the 15s, the 14s, 12, 30, all of that. That's this kind of effect. Okay, beautiful. All right, so when you're doing lashes like this, okay, you can definitely add your paper lashes over the top. Okay. Now, when you add your paper lashes, you definitely want to make, like, these are too big for this, but you definitely want to make sure that you add the right curve, the right size of triangle, the right length from side to side. You want to make sure that you have a good, sturdy foundation when you're adding paper because the paper is going to be a little bit more heavy than the actual lash, okay, the lash strip. So you want to make sure to take good care of that very bottom lash for good support and foundation. Okay. All right, so then let me show you. This is the top lash on the top of the eye here. Now you can do lashes here if you want on the bottom to finish off a very dramatic look, especially if you're working with mannequins. So you can take a lash strip. You can cut the lash strip or not. You're going to turn the lash strip upside down. And let's say you're doing it on this lash. And just imagine with me, okay? Let's say that that's the top eye and this is the bottom eye. Or, wow, because you have two eyes, right? The top lash line, the bottom lash line. So then the eyeball, and let me see if I can draw an eyeball on this paper because let's say that your eyeball, right, is there. Now, granted, this is a very small, thin lash, and this is a very long, flared cat eye lash, so obviously it looks off, but you get the gist. You can do a whole lash like so. Should you choose, you could do a whole lash underneath this very big, dramatic lash that you created. Let me move this out of the way here. Okay. So very dramatic. Let's say that this was your eye right here. Okay. Very dramatic. Now, if a whole strip lash doesn't work for your look, then what you do is you come in and you take it and you cut it in half or in thirds. It depends. People will do a different variation. And then you can place it at the bottom. If these are your lashes, you can place it at the bottom, just on one corner like so. You can put it down in the middle and then two small ones on the side. It just depends on what you're going for in your lash look. Okay? So very, very beautiful design as far as stacking the lashes is definitely some, oh, sorry, I was supposed to turn it upside down. No wonder it looked funny. There you go. Okay. So definitely a very nice design, something that you can definitely use to work with. See that beautiful curve on the side there? And again, it's not something that a client is going to come in and say, hey, I want this look on my face for my wedding day, obviously. It'll be something, you know, very avant-garde, very dramatic, okay, very editorial. Very nice, very nice. Very nice flare to the lashes too. So selecting the lashes that you're working with are very important, okay? And of course, this particular lash here, we have a strip lash with our paper lash, right? And you can always add that paper lash on top to give it that extra flare. And let's say that you were doing this one here. Well, I guess I can do like this. Very nice, very dramatic. Obviously, the more lash that you use, the more the eye is going to be closed off. Okay, so it's going to look smaller because it's so dark around the eye. But definitely for a mannequin or for a project, definitely something to have fun with. Okay? All right, so that is how you stack your lashes. I hope that when you guys are designing your lash style, your lash technique, that you find something that works very well with your look, that you're creative, that you have fun with it. And I totally am looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Oh, and one more thing that I also forgot. You can also add, now this one I can't stick on here because it doesn't have sticky, but you can also add your fibers on your lashes. Obviously that's not the right size and that one's flat and didn't have a curve, but you can also add your fibers to those lashes in between each one of these stacked layers. You can add the hair, the colored fibers in between. Okay. All right, so there you have it. Hopefully that gives you guys some inspiration, some ideas for your projects. And like I said, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.